Stylishnaija YouTube channel. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys for subscribing to my channel, watching my videos, and then liking and sharing. So if you are new to my channel, you are very and highly welcome. If you have not subscribed already, please, I would appreciate if you would subscribe to Stylishnaija YouTube channel, a place where we share trendy videos weekly. So every week when you come to Stylishnaija, I guarantee you that you're going to see a new video. So that's just that. So today I'm going to be making and showing you how to make this trendy sleeve. Someone actually sent it to me. Someone sent it to me before. About 3 persons, they've actually sent it to me in the past. So it is a ruffled and sleeve. So I have my organza. It was actually made with an organza. So I have my organza and fabric here. So the mid and part of the sleeve is like a 2 and layered and sleeve. So the puff is on the down, and then the plain part is on the bicep area. So I'm going to be making use of my sleeve pattern to cut out on the bicep area. So you just measure your sleeve, that's from this point to this point, and then where the length of the sleeve is going to be. So I'm just going to place my sleeve pattern like this, and then cut out from my bicep area. That's this point. So you could decide to elongate it, depends on what you want. So I'm just going to cut now. So remember to add your inch to it. So I have the first part of my sleeve cut out, so you could see it here. So I'm just going to keep it on the side. So the next thing I'm going to cut out now is the ruffled part. So the down part was actually doubled. It is a doubled, and the organza was actually doubled. So I'm just going to fold the leftover of my organza, because you need a big organza for this. Depends on how full you want it to be. You could actually make use of 1 yard of organza. If you want something fuller, you could make use of 2 yards of organza. So I'm just going to cut. So this is going to be the doubled part. So I'm going to show you the measurement that I'm using. So on fold, I have 16 inches here, and then 16 inches. So that's 16 square. So I'm going to cut it out now. So it's after ruffling, that's when you are going to measure it to your round armhole and measurement. That's your bicep and measurement. We're going to ruffle it and then bring it to the measurement. So I have I have it ruffled up like this. So sorry, I have it folded like this into 4. So we're going to be ruffling directly. So I'm not going to cut it out. I'm not going to be cutting it out. So the next thing now, we're going to go to the machine. So we're going to go and start stitching on this. Okay guys, so welcome back to the table. So this is the part that I cut out. So I opened it up from this was the closed end, so I just cut it out open. So I have 2 plain and 2 parts of it now. So we're going to start stitching. So in stitching this, what I'm going to do, I'm going to use this side as like a guide for me. I'm going to use it like a guide. So I'm just going to create some ruffles on it. So you're going to see the ruffles. So I'm just using it as a guide. So I'll have like a guide before I start creating the bigger ruffles. So this is what I'm going to just do. I'm just going to ruffle fold them like this, and then I'm creating a straight stitch here as I go along. I'm creating a straight stitch. So you could do it however you want to. I'm just taking it up straight. So I'm using about 2 inches an interval. That's 2 inches width from the side. So you could set to use 1 inch, depends on how big the organza you're making use of. So at the end of the day, I'm going to be trimming out all of the excesses that I have. So you could see what I have now. So I'm just going to bring it. That is why you actually need your organza to be of length. So after when making ruffles and stitch and sleeves or whatever ruffles, you need excess of fabric. So now we're going to start measuring how we're going to ruffle our organza. So I'm going to use about 3. So from this point, now this is going to be like my start up point. So I'm going to use about 5 inches. I'm going to use about 5 inches or 4 inches. So this is going to be like my center, like the center part of my sleeve. So I'm just going to check it out. So in creating this, you are going to make sure in creating this, so you are going to measure your round armhole. So that's your sleeve, your round sleeve. You're going to measure your round sleeve. Depends on how. So what I actually have here, I'm going to be using about 14 inches. So you're going to make sure that's from this point now. You're going to put your tape like this, because this is the part, this is going to be the first part. So we're going to be stitching this part to close it to the other side. So I'm going to show you. So we're going to start from this point. So we want about 14 inches. Everything that we're at the end of the day, we're going to have 14 inches. So I'm just going to use 5 inches interval first, and then I'm going to stitch. I'm going to try and create my ruffles here. So in creating the ruffles, you can decide to create it however you want to. I'm trying to achieve is just create a big pleat at the center here. So I'm just going to come like this again, and then I'm going to just hold it up like this. You see what I have? So you see I have a puffness here already. So I'm still going to come like this. I'll just take it up like this, and then I'll create that puffness also, because at the end you're going to push it out. So once you push it out, you should be able to have this. So your emphasis should just be that your stitch, they are straight and then they are together. So at the end of the day, you can decide to use and to start from this part. So once we are done, we'll measure out the amount of fabric that we want, and then we'll cut out the rest. So I'm just going to stitch it. So I have the first set of the pleats that I need. So I'm just going to go like this again. So at the end of the day, so when you push them out, they're going to come out like this. So I'm going to create another one here. So I'm still going to make use of the 5 inches interval. So I'm still going to make use of 5 inches. I'm just going to take it like this, and then I'll measure out 5 inches. So I could decide to make at this point my center now. So it depends on what you want. So you're just going to start stitching from the 5 inches point like this, and then you create big pleats like this. You're just going to raise it up like this, and then you drop it. So once you raise up, you drop it, and then you stitch, and then you create another big pleat like this. I hope you understand what I'm doing. So you see the pleats, they are being created. So you drop it like this, and then you take this also, you pick it up, just pick it up like this, and then you drop it like this. So I'm going to continue since I have enough so once I'm done, I'll measure out my measurements. That's my round measurement, and then the rest I'm going to cut them all out. I'm going to continue now. I'm going to measure out another 5 inches from this point. So I'm just going to raise my organza up like this. Okay, so I have it all ruffled up now, so you see how it is. So the next thing you're going to do, you're going to take at the center of the top part of your sleeve, you're going to mark it. and then you pick the center of this one. So you're just going to choose where you're going to use as the center, and then you're going to stitch it on it. So as you stitch, you're still going to ruffle it so everything comes in. So I'm just trying to get on the center part. So I'm going to use on this side. So I'm just going to stitch it on it to get my round armhole measurement, just to stitch it. So I'm still going to ruffle it as I'm stitching. I'm going to be ruffling it. So the essence is to get volume on it. Okay, so guys, so you could see, so I finished stitching it. So the next thing that is remaining is your round sleeve measurement from this side. So what you are going to do, you can decide to do this in two ways. You can decide to make use of an elastic. You can decide to use elastic to hold the down part of your sleeve. You understand? So you can decide to use elastic, or you can decide to just hold it together and then stitch it on something like a tiny band. So as you could create like a tiny band like this. So it actually depends on what you want. You can create like a tiny band like this using your round armhole and measurement. So for this, my round armhole is actually 14 inches. So I'm going to cut out a band of like 15 inches, and then you're going to ruffle it. It's just the same thing we did on top of this point. So I'm going to mark the points that I want. I'm just going to notch it like this, and then I'll show you how to finish that up. I'm just going to put notch here for you to know that they are going to start stitching from here downwards. So the next thing I'm going to do now, we are just going to take it like this, and then I'm just trying to get the best way so I'll be able to stitch. So I'm going to stitch this on this part like this. I keep turning up and down, up and down. So because this part we're going to be cutting it off, so I'm just going to ruffle it back, just like tiny pleat it on it, and then I'll show you how to finish it up. So this band is actually like about so you see I finished stitching it. So the next thing you are going to do, you're just going to fold it just to get a clean finish. You're just going to fold it like this, tiny, just to get a clean finish for the edge of your sleeve. So I'm just going to stitch it now, and then I'll show you the complete. I'll stitch the side together also. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do, and I'm just going to measure out that's the measurement. I'm going to measure out stitch out the width of my sleeve. So that's what I'm going to do now, and then cut out the excess on the side, and then come back and show you the finish and sleeve. So I'm just going to do that now. Use my round sleeve measurement to measure it out. Okay guys, so welcome back. So you could see this is the final look of our organza sleeve. So when you put it on, it's going to be like this. So you're just going to tuck it in, and then since it is a ruffled sleeve, you would so you would determine how you want it to be. So you could decide to pull them out or push them in. So it actually depends on what you actually want. So at the end of the day, it's going to be like this. So how big you want your ruffles to be, that you are going to do that with the amount of organza that you actually made use of. So, and then where you're going to cut from, you can determine and that to cut from however you want to. So guys, if you find this video illustration helpful, please do not hesitate to hit on the like button, subscribe to my channel if you have not done so already. So thank you so much. I'll see you in my next